You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another Cabral Concept. We are at a Friday review today and a very special episode out here in San Diego, California. It's my last day of the trip out here. I'm with Kyle Brown. Kyle Brown is a celebrity personal trainer as well as the founder of Fit365, which is an amazing nutritional-based product. And believe it or not, even though I've been using nutritional products for almost 20 years now, I never wanted to get into the business of nutritional supplements because it was just kind of out of my realm. I always just worked one-on-one with people, doing consultations and helping people out. But for the last 3 years, as many of you know, I've been using a very specific detox. And the issue was we had to source it from 3 different companies to make it really work for us. And so about a year ago, I got into how can I create the very best non-GMO product that I can feel great about using with my own family. And Kyle is someone who actually has already been doing this for many, many years, more years than I actually, can recall right now. But I called him about a year and a half to 2 years ago. And I said, as someone who's doing this ethically, who's in the business and is in this for the right reasons, how should I go about getting started? And he gave me a lot of great advice. So really happy to have you on the show today. Why don't you just say a couple words about yourself and what you do?
Well, first off, welcome to San Diego. Excited to have you in town. And so, my background, I've been doing fitness nutrition for a long time. And then we launched Fit365 about 2005. We went on the market. In 2003, we started formulation. So we've been on for a long time and moved a couple different routes from medical to, now also in Whole Foods out here in SoCal.
That's fantastic. And it was funny too, because I've had meetings in LA and I have meetings down here in more Southern California. And when I walk by in Silver Isle, our products aren't in Whole Foods. It's not really the route that we are going for, at least for right now. It's more functional medicine based. But Kyle's his products and those things do span, the whole full market, which is an amazing thing that we will talk about. And I want to get into now. One of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the show is, you are kind of like the whey protein guy. You know where it's sourced, where the best places in the world, literally not in the United States, but best places in the world to get it are. And we carry, I've been using whey protein for 20 plus years now with clients. And one of the things that I can say is for the people that it works for, meaning like that right person, it does tremendous things for their overall health, for their metabolism and also their weight loss. Let's get into the whey protein and let's talk about specifically what's the real difference between, a casein, a regular whey, like what are the different types?
So baseline whey protein, historically, what would happen is they would milk the cow and you'd get the milk and then they'd put that through the acid bath and you would get curds and whey. And the whey was the byproduct of cheese manufacture. Now the whey that we use is when you milk the cow, you get the milk, you get the little bit of cream on top, and then you get that thin little layer of whey from a grass-fed cow. But what happened is back in the 90s, they started testing that whey that they were just throwing away during cheese manufacture, and they saw that the bioavailability, the usability for the human body was off the charts. So originally they said it was a 120 out of 100, which is not even a number that makes sense because egg was that standard score of 100.
Yeah.
And that was basically when they started then saying, well, let's powderize it, spray dry it, and bring it to market as a human food source. And
you said it's the bioavailability of it.
That was just, the bioavailability, the usability, how well it can be absorbed by the human body was off the charts.
Exactly.
Whey, and that was just the standardized commercial whey.
To my knowledge, exactly. Whey is higher than any other food that I know of.
Yeah.
Besides,
it is the highest as far as I know.
Exactly. Besides, human breast milk, whey protein is the highest. It's above soy, it's above egg, it's above any type of proteins that you can have just because of what you said, the absorbability of that.
Yep.
That's fantastic. So I think one of the things that to make clear is that all whey proteins or powders aren't created the same as well. Because when you look at milk, there's 2 different types of proteins. There's the casein and then there's the whey. And casein is about 80% of the protein in milk. it's a much cheaper source of protein. And that's why I like to do these Fridays in reviews. And that's because you're being marketed more casein-based products. And casein is a very cheap form. Now, it's just marketed really nice as like time released and whey protein spikes your, blood sugar too much and all those things. It's simply that's not true. There's different types, and we'll go into that specifically as well. But just understand that if you can find a really cheap tub of protein that's like this big, like 2-3 gallons of it, and you can buy it for under $40, you know that it's just a very cheap source. You have to go back to the source. And so I think it's important too to look at your whey protein does come typically from a cow, and then it's like, what did that cow eat? Did it feed on grass? Did it feed on corn, on antibiotics? So that's one of the big things. And how did you go about sourcing yours, which I know it's not even from the U.S.?
Yeah, intentionally not from the U.S. So if you see a U.S.-based grass-fed whey protein, even if they say organic on them, a lot of the grass-fed wheys that are organic right now, they're sourcing their protein from Wisconsin. And if you know anything about Wisconsin, there's snow a good part of the year. During that part of the year, they're eating organic grains and organic soy. So they're not eating grass year-round, yet they're still saying that they're year-round grass-fed whey.
Sure.
And the nutrients and the minerals within those grasses are pretty low because, again, they're getting devastated by winters. So what we did is we looked at 2 different places, which was South Australia and New Zealand, where the weather is similar to Southern California.
Sure. And
we used specifically a South Australian whey that isn't that byproduct of cheese manufacture. So you get all the good immune restorative benefits.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and I think that is one of the big things, is because there's a big difference between the corn-fed cows and the grass-fed ones. And the reason for that is just like you said, it's what they're eating. They're getting in a lot of those omegas and the nutrients from the grass that as humans, we don't have rumen. We don't have the ability to just churn grass and get the nutrients out. So we can actually get the nutrients from the whey, from the milk, from those cows specifically. And a lot of times, I can't say all the time, but grass-fed cows are usually treated much more humanely, which is very important to myself, and I know it's important to you as well.
It's essential. It's if you go back even just to the food chain, which we all study in freshman year of high school biology, it's man eats cow, cow eats grass. And the pictures we see of the cow, they are sitting in the grass they are eating.
Right.
That is where they live. And now, if you were to know what was really going on behind the scenes, it may make you look at that meat and then any of the byproducts that come from that animal as the farthest thing from appetizing. Sure. And the good news is that there's still farmers out there that put ethics first, and you can do a little bit of work, but you're going to pay a little bit more. My whole big thing on the payment concept for any of these foods is our grandparents used to spend 50+% of their budget on food. Mm-hmm. We're spending 12 and complaining about it. So go for the higher quality stuff and find other ways to balance it. And just like you said, if you're getting a giant tub of something, there's a reason why.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to pay for it, like you said, in one way or another. My thing is, you can look at it as a meal replacement. So I've been preaching a smoothie for breakfast for a million years now, at least a million. And one of the things is this, that even like the most expensive proteins in the world might be $2-3 per serving. And that's because they're good quality. But if you look at that, $3 for your breakfast, that's a whole meal. That's pretty inexpensive. And we'll get it during the Q&A. We're going to talk about kind of our favorite recipes as well for making smoothies. But you have to look at that. Like in the grand scheme of things, yes, there's an expense to it, but it's also food that you're putting in your body for nourishment. And I can tell you that for my own evolution into getting into health, the healthier I ate, just the bottom line, the more energy I had, the more production I could put out. Let's talk a little bit about one of the big things that my clients like about whey protein or protein in general. And I do want to make this clear that we're reviewing whey protein today, but I don't have all of my clients use whey protein. So what I want is to have an expert come on the show and talk with you about whey protein and see if it's the right decision for you, because I do believe that everyone should do a smoothie every day. A lot of and you might think it's a conflict of interest because I do a vegan-based smoothie. We do a pea and rice-based protein, but the truth is that I do whatever is best for my clients, and I'm doing whatever is best for you. That's what it's all about. And so it's not about trying to promote anything. Today, we want to get to the bottom line of if whey protein is best for you. And for a lot of my clients, I do food sensitivity testing just to make sure that they're not having an IgG-based reaction to whey protein. And believe it or not, it's like very simple to test for. It's just a finger poke, and you just use on a drop of blood on a card. And if they show high on whey protein as a sensitivity, guess who's not having whey protein? Very, very simple. But if you're low on it, there's so many benefits. I mean, they're studying whey protein right now for anti-cancer based benefits, partly because of the immunoglobulins that it does have. Why don't you share with us a little bit about the immune benefits? I know you talked about the medical based side of it.
Yeah, so I think that that's something that's imperative when you talk about not all whey proteins are the same, which is why you may find one that the price is quite a bit higher than the others. We're one of the only ones on the retail market now that uses this grass-fed native whey, where you're not putting it through that acid bath. And when you heat these fragile immune benefits, it changes the structure, and you're not getting the good health benefits that you would be getting from this good quality, almost raw whey. And so the basic of that, the immunoglobulins, the lactoferrin, the serum albumin, they're all precursors to your body's master antioxidant, which is glutathione.
Right.
And what will happen is when you're putting these things in, your body will produce its natural antioxidant. And, we have this beautiful view in front of us right now of the ocean. And in comparison between your body's master antioxidants, its ability to heal itself, it's like a drop of salt in the ocean when you're taking in blueberries versus what you're going to be getting from raising your own natural antioxidant levels. And it's pretty amazing what you can get from those shakes.
Yeah, no, I think the immune-based part of it is something that we don't usually talk about because, typically when you're using a whey protein or any type of shake, you're thinking about it for body transformation reasons. I'm trying to bring it more mainstream, that it's about health first. And if you get your body super healthy, well, guess what? You're not going to be overweight and you're going to look fantastic. So if your goals are body transformation, then that's great. Let's get healthy. And then a good body is a byproduct of being healthy. It really is. It's difficult to be out of shape if you're healthy. It really is.
Couldn't agree more. I think that the foundation is the health, because if you put the health first and you have the good body, isn't that ideal? Why would you want to have this great body and feel absolutely miserable? And I know that from when I was a bodybuilder at 21. Everyone's like, wow, you look amazing. I'm like, I feel like garbage and I can't even think straight because my carbs are so off. My brain is foggy. I forgot to get my groceries. I would leave my cash there. It's like almost I gave myself Alzheimer's by choosing to be a bodybuilder. But hey, I had a six-pack.
Right, exactly. Exactly. The trade-offs.
Yeah, nice trade-off.
So what I want to end with is that when we're talking about whey protein, the important factor is this. For an inexpensive test, you can literally buy a good quality whey protein if you don't want to do the food sensitivity test. And you can see that if you get any bloating, if you get any digestive-based issues by using it, that might be a true test for you. That's more of it could be potentially a lactose-based issue, which I know that a product like Fit 365 it's at least 97% lactose-free because it is a concentrate. And the other thing is, if it's something where you start to get like allergies or stuffy nose, just do a food sensitivity test. But for the majority of the people, whey protein can be a very good option if you haven't decided to go, completely vegan or on that route. And so what I'd like to say is just keep your options open, something to explore. I know in my own clinic in Boston, we use a product called Vital Whey, and we also use Fit 365. One of the reasons that I wanted to introduce you to Kyle today is because Fit 365 is probably the best tasting whey protein you'll ever have. And when I look for compliance with clients to do an AM smoothie and maybe an mid-afternoon smoothie, is that I want it to taste good. And this one, it comes in, that I know of, vanilla, and it comes in chocolate. There might be other flavors now that I don't know about. And one of the things is even mixing like a scoop of vanilla and a scoop of chocolate is absolutely fantastic. It's kind of like a mocha. I know that from personal experience. And the other thing is it has like a hint of coconut. Is there coconut oil in this?
Coconut oil in there.
Okay. So maybe just talk a little bit briefly about why you put coconut oil in this product and how it's different from the Vital Whey that we also carry as well.
So the biggest thing we were looking for was a complete meal and a shake, much more than just whey protein. So we said, what are some good, healthy, natural nutritional supplements that will give you the fiber so that you're full? So we've got the 6 grams of fiber that will give you the healthy fats from the coconut oil, so you're satiated. So when you have one of these shakes, you're full for about 4 hours. And for me, also, taste is king. So we also added like 5 billion probiotics in each serving. We just wanted it a good, complete, healthy supplement so you didn't have to think as much and go out and buy 20 different things. And then taste is king. That's the biggest thing. You can have the healthiest cabinet in the world, but if your supplements aren't dialed in and they're just sitting there because they taste gross, you don't have compliance.
Right.
So when we did our original formulation, our demo group was half kids, half adults. Because kids aren't going to lie. Kids are going to tell you if they think something's good or not. As you know, they're going to say, ew, gross, or yeah. So that's why it took us 9 formulas. Is I wanted something that was healthy enough I could feed it to my kids and tasted good enough they'd want it.
That's really good to hear, because one of the tests that I have with every nutritional supplement is this something that I would promote to my own family? And if you can pass that test, then you feel very ethical about promoting it to anybody, because it's something that you would use in your own household. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Where can people find out more about you and also the Fit 365 product?
So for the shake, what you're going to want to do is you're going to go to fit365.com, FIT365.com. If you use the coupon code ESPN, just like the station, you can get a 20% off discount code.
Very nice.
And then if you want to find out a little bit more about me, go get a recipe book for me for free at iwantkyle.com.
Very nice. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. We'll be back real soon on another Cabral Concepts. Before you go, I wanted to share a personal story with you. The real reason I began to get well, finally, is because I figured out what was wrong with me. And that might seem pretty obvious, but I went from doctor to doctor for over 2 years before discovering at-home functional medicine lab testing. These are the labs that enabled me to finally figure out what was wrong with my hormones, blood sugar, electrolytes, and gut health. And once I knew what was wrong, I could then follow a proven plan in order to rebalance my body from the inside out. This is why I believe so strongly in functional medicine lab testing and why I've made it my mission to share these labs with the world. Now at equa.life, you can order an at-home lab test or lab bundle for you and your family and be able to complete it within the week. Plus, the EquaLife difference is that you're not left to try to read and figure out these labs on your own. We explain what your lab numbers mean, what they mean in the much bigger picture, and then how to go about rebalancing your body in order to heal. To see our full selection of lab tests, or to set up a free lab selection call to find out what labs may be best for you, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. And do remember, we ship these all over the world. To find out more and to set up your free lab selection call, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. That's EQUI.LIFE/labs.